Today I'll provide an audio description of an artwork called The Music Party by the artist Gerard ter Borch. Gerard was a Dutch artist who was born in 1617 and died in 1681. He was known for creating genre paintings, which are detailed recreations of a single scene from everyday life. Dutch genre painters in the 1600s often focused on middle-class figures and settings, and that's certainly true with this painting. There's also a somewhat stark contrast between the light cast on the three figures and the darker background of the room they're in. I'll try to include all the detail and drama of the scene in my description. This is a vertical painting made with oil paint on a panel made of wood from an oak tree. It's 22 7/8 inches long and 18 5/8 inches wide. Gerard ter Borch made this painting around 1670, and it was the bequest to the museum from Mary Emery in 1927. Since this painting features three young people arranged in a loose triangle, I'll focus on one figure at a time and fill in other details in the scene as I go. Let's start with the young woman on the right. She's sitting in a wooden chair with dark red upholstery in profile view to us. She has pale white skin with blonde hair that is pulled back with dark colored ribbons and a jewel-encrusted wrap around the bun her hair is tied back in. The hair along her hairline is in tight curls. Her eyes are looking down at a book of sheet music. Her cheeks are rosy red, and she's wearing three-part earrings that dangle to her jawline. She's wearing a golden jacket lined with white fur at the hems and the sleeves, which are half the length of her arms. This jacket covers a white satin dress. In the jacket and the dress, there's a vivid contrast of light and shadow, creating a texture that feels very lifelike and realistic. Her right arm is extended toward the book of sheet music on the table in front of her. Her left arm is holding the neck of a wooden stringed instrument called the turbino, which is like a lute with a second peg box of 16 bass strings. It has a stout wooden sound box resting underneath her right arm, with a thick, stubby neck with her left hand forming a chord along the strings. The peg box with the bass strings is in the middle of the neck, angling back toward the woman, while the higher pitched strings are wound on the other peg box that angles out toward our view. With her right hand, she's lifting the bottom left corner of the page of the book with her thumb and index finger, while using her other three fingers to find her place in the sheet music. This book is resting on top of another blue-covered book, all of which is on top of a brown wooden table covered by a deep red tablecloth that has richly stitched patterns and tassels at the ends. Which leads us to the young man sitting across from her. He's a white boy with long, wavy, reddish blonde hair that extends a few inches past his shoulders, but with short-cut bangs well above his eyebrows. He has dark brown eyes, a pointy nose, and rosy cheeks while he focuses his gaze on the young woman across from him. It's hard to tell whether he's focusing on her face as she follows the sheet music, or if he's looking at the cleavage from the low cut of her dress, which is the more salacious interpretation. Anyway, he has a white rough collar around his neck with a white puffy-sleeved shirt underneath a black cloak and a golden-colored, highly engraved sheath diagonally across his chest. The silver handle to his sword is slightly behind his left forearm. He's holding a book, which casts shadows on his hands and his wrists. Behind him is the third figure in the painting, another young white boy with long brown hair. He's wearing a brown and very wide-rimmed hat, and he's looking down at the other two figures with his mouth slightly open. He's also wearing a black coat with a black bow tie and a draped white collar poking out from underneath his tie. What ter Borch has painted of the room that they're sitting in is pretty dark with some faint patches of light. There's a wooden door behind the boy standing in the background that is open, leading to an even darker part of the house. Behind the girl, there's a dark-colored chair against the wall below a painting that appears to be of ships out on a body of water, but there's a rough texture around the painting that makes it hard to tell for sure. It's up for debate what the true meaning of the scene is. It could be about the joy of music with friends. Making music could also be a euphemism for sex and romance. It could also be an allusion to the fleeting nature of life, that a note can be played on an instrument, hang in the air, and then resonate before sound dies off. Based on what I've described today, what do you think this painting means to you?